results we have.
Thank you, Alexis. So here, you guys can see our first regression or attempt at developing a regression model. It was very simple. Our dependent variable was, the amount of clicks, and the explanatory variable was how much money was spent. So in essence, our hypothesis is that if you spend more money, you should get more clicks through the Google Ads pay-per-click service. And looking at this simple regression, we're surprised to see such a low R-squared. That basically means that if you're throwing a lot of money at Google Ads, it doesn't necessarily translate into more clicks. So that basically means that we're going to have to add more explanatory variables, as we'll discuss here in the next couple slides, what we added. But you see our R-squared is really low. It's about 1%. We had 37 observations, so we had a sizable sample. Again, our F-test here it was pretty high. So our F-test actually failed in this case. And then looking at the p-value for Google Dollars, it was also very high, which means that this explanatory variable is not significant. So this first regression did not really do much, but it gave us some insight that we need to dig a little bit further. So one of the tools that Alexis mentioned was to help visualize what's going on here. And what we have here, also we added a trend variable, and the data was presented by month. So 0, it started in September, and it goes on, counts the months. 11 here, you can see a peak. This is July, and every year July seems to be the peak. Upon investigation, I guess Life Church does this movie campaign series. Jake will talk about here in a little bit. That is really popular and is really driving a lot of the clicks there, more so than spending. And on the y-axis here, we have the amount of clicks, right? Another thing that's important when we're looking at trending the scatter plot, it's seasonal, and the season keeps decreasing each time. So that's of concern, right? That you're getting less and less clicks with each year that goes on. So this next slide here shows the money spent, and it's telling a different story. So again, here the x-axis we have the different months. Here, we have the money spent, and you can see over time, Life Church is spending more money on average per month, and an increase of $274 per month increase. And if you remember the previous slide, clicks are decreasing, but money is increasing. So that's not a very good thing if you're spending more money and getting less clicks. So that basically, led us to do the second regression model, which we have here, where we added a time trend. Basically, we just added another column numbered 1 through 37 for each of the 37 months. And you notice right away we got a huge improvement in our adjusted R-squared. Went from 1% to 37%. So that right there shows there's some seasonality that we need to consider in our model. Our F-test actually now passes and is significant. And then we look at our explanatory variables. We have 2 in this case, the first being Google Dollars, where again, our p-value is kind of high. So this is not significant, right? It's not significant, but our trend here has a very low value, and it is significant. And you notice that the coefficient here, which is basically stating that every month that goes by, there's going to be a decrease in 21,917 clicks. And that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing that decline in clicks over time, something that is useful to know, right? It might not be, good news, but sometimes you need to know when things are losing your effectiveness, right? Whether that is through market saturation, where you having to pay a little bit more per click, what have you. We had to kind of dig a little bit deeper. So our third regression, we ended up looking at the seasonality. Specifically, we were interested in July because July is when we see the spike every month. And so we added another 11 explanatory variables. These are the dummy variables of each of the months, leaving out July. And you notice right here that this third regression really is the best regression that we were able to come up with, explaining for 56% of the variability within this regression model. Our F test passes. And again, we have several significant explanatory variables. So again, our trend, low p-value, significant. Actually, we saw an increase in trend. So we went from 21,000 to 23,000 decline per month degradation. And then we look at each of the months, right here, February, low p-value, significant. We see that just by it being February, relative to July, you're going to have 450,000 less clicks, which is pretty remarkable. That it has nothing to do with money, but these campaigns that LifeChurch are doing have a lot of use, and so something that is useful to obtain. And the same thing here when you look at December, November, October. December again is only 300,000 less clicks, probably related to Christmas time, right? It's going to have a little bit more traffic, but still nothing compared to July. Again, this has nothing to do with the dollar spent, but more related to seasonality and these campaigns that LifeChurch is conducting. So I'm going to turn it over here to Jake, who's going to discuss a little bit about